Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Fivers Futures live trading session. I am Dave, your host, and today is going to be, as usual, another fun and exciting one. We are starting off very well. I am long gold, caught this straight moonshot on the asset right before the news. So we're looking good so far. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know where you're watching us from. I see we have MKC 1995 in the house. Welcome back. Good to see you here. Hello, Daniel. This one is for you. We are long gold. We caught this one right before the news. As you called it out, awesome trade here. I don't even have a target on this to tell you the truth. So yeah, I caught this on this account and on my own personal account as well. So we're looking good everywhere. We're looking green, and we like this straight up shot to the moon. Looking great. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let the audience pick the target today on gold. Whenever you guys tell me to get out, that's when I'll get out because I don't even have a target on this. This is looking awesome. So we had core PCE come out at 8:30 Eastern about 30 minutes ago, and then we saw gold take off. I was watching the Nasdaq. Let's put this on a 15-minute. Nasdaq took off as well, doing a nice little recovery here. So we are looking green everywhere. It came out at 0.2%. The forecast was 0.3, which means, it wasn't as bad as expected. For those who don't know, the core PCE looks at basically the price of goods minus food and energy, right? So basically, it's telling you how much prices went up this month, and it excludes food and energy. So it kind of came in as expected. There's no panic here. Of course, there's a 0.1% difference, which is something, right? But let's say if it was in school, it's like you got a B minus instead of a B. So it's not too bad, and the market has reacted pretty well to that. So we're looking good. The gold trade is looking awesome. So right now, what I'm gonna say is, let me know in the chat. As a matter of fact, I should do a survey. I should have you guys tell me where you want me to get out of this trade. This trade is for you. It's for the community. Let me see something here. Let me get on the stream. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to let you guys tell me where you want me to get out on gold because this trade is for the community. It's looking good. It's looking great, actually. So it's going to be your call. Let me see something here. Oh, you took a partial? Let's watch and see, Daniel. Let's watch and see. I'm just creating a poll right now. So I want to know, where should I exit on gold? It's going to be your call. This is for the stream. It is your trade. All right. Let's see what we got in the comments. Yes, indeed. Nice and green. How you doing, Tubagu? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yep, we caught that one right before the news. Your trade on the Nasdaq went well. That's great. Looking good. Han saying 44.73. 44.73. Okay, so we got one target here. We'll do 44.73. Right about here. Yeah, that looks okay. Right before that previous resistance there. Okay, that's a good target. That's kind of an area I thought of for a sec. So we'll see. 44.88 looks nasty. Let's see. Let's look on the 4 hour. 44.88. Yeah, that's where we reversed from. That's where we open on the 4 hour. But you'd rather straddle. Okay. So we got 44.73 and then we got 44.88. So let's see. Let us see what you guys say. I'm not going to touch this one. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put this exactly above break even just to pay for commissions. This is your trade. So the most the area that gets the most call out is where I'll take out that's where I'll take out the trade. And of course, I'm sure the character of this is going to change once we open. So it's your call. If you want me to close it, and tell me when also. Not only, I want you guys to tell me at what price, but I also want you guys to tell me at what time. All right. And then we're going to take a look in a minute at all the indices. We're going to look at the ES as usual. Sorry. We're going to look at the Nasdaq and everything and decide what we're doing there. 44.78, you will tighten stop massively, but 45 is full target. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's switch over to, while this trade is cooking, let's switch over to the indices. Let's switch over to the Nasdaq. So we touched our, so I'm having a little glitch here where my line drawings keep repeating themselves. I need to talk to Black Arrow about that. But as usual, we're going to look. I'm sure some of you caught the move and some of you did not catch the move. So we're going to see, we're going to have an approach of, okay, we didn't catch the move. How do we attack this market? IG6, yes, I am in gold. Let's look at gold. I was long right here around, I am still long at 44.18. So it's going to be your call. Like I said, I want you guys to tell me where to exit. Okay, this is the community's trade. I don't really have a target. My best guess, if I was going to get out, I would get out in that area, right? So right in between 44.70 and 44.80, more or less. That 10-point range right here is where I would personally exit. Now we have one call out for 44.73 and another call out for 44.88. So you guys let me know. Daniel said he's out. Okay. Leather USA and NQ almost cooked you on London today. Price action was bad. Yeah, the price action was a little bit tricky earlier. But if you were able to catch this pullback, this was a nice clean up move, right? I usually show you how I trade the opening range, but these pullbacks, basically, here's how I approach them, right? Let's look at them really quickly, and then we'll look at what's the plan going to be for today. So we're looking at the NQ, right? This is a 15-minute chart. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to a 5-minute chart. So let's say you saw this move. This was Asia around 1800 hours. London open around here. Price action was super choppy, not much to do here, but this was a key area, right? This is where we had our levels yesterday, and we stumble into resistance here. Okay, so it would have been tricky to trade during London. So you had to wait, in my opinion, for two things. Either an entry here when you broke down, retested the high, you could have shorted this here, possibly targeting this previous pocket. That was one trade. But the better trade, and that's one I took actually this morning, is you see how you have a tight, clean consolidation here, a tight, clean pullback. This is where I would have entered the trade. And this is one of my favorite setups. It is a trend continuation trade, right? But it is a break of a trend line. So we would have had our trend here, right? You would had your first initial break, a pullback, a move up. Now, if you didn't trust this move, you could have waited all the way until here when we got above VWAP. And this is why I anchor my VWAP starting at the Asian session, is because I wanted to guide my view throughout the session. And you could see that the whole session, we were trading above the volume weighted average price, which indicates that, hey, on average, we're more bullish than bearish. We're trading above what I would call here the line in the sand. Now we pull back under it, we break back above, right? And you would have waited because we didn't have much volume. But when you saw this volume come in, there were one, this was the riskier entry. Two, this was the less risky and the safest entry around 7:55, 8 o'clock. And then if you really wanted to take the risk, you could have traded the news right around here. But the best entry, I think the safest one would have been around 29.20 more or less for first target, this previous resistance. And then second target, we're aiming for this cluster right here, which is where we found resistance. And remember yesterday, this was our point of control, 3102. This is what we marked out before the open. I'm going to see what the point of control is right now. Let me just check. Give me 1 second. We got Bodyman saying any giveaway. We did a bunch of giveaways yesterday. By the way, let me pull this up before we talk about the indices. Let me pull this up. We have the trading world championships going on right now, right? I mean, starting June 8th, sorry. So we're going to have a bunch of stuff going on, right? We're going to have prizes. We're going to have giveaways from June 8th to the 19th. We're going to have the Traders Contest where you can win up to $20,000 in cash prizes, right? On top of that, we're going to have World Cup predictions. So you're going to be able to win eval accounts and all types of goodies. And then finally, we're going to have the 1v1 battles where you can go against me or any of the traders that you usually see live on our platform. So all of our sister companies are participating. You have the Fiverr CFD, the Forex side. You have Trade Set Go, our new brokerage platform. You have, of course, the Fiverr's Futures. With yours truly, you'll be able to battle against me. And then you'll have Trade the Pool where you can participate as well. I would say, hey, come to the futures side. Come here. Let's battle. Let's win some prizes, right? You can register right now. So you put your name, etc., etc. Sign up. And here are the traders you're going to battle against. Again, you have Wills, Josh, LJ, Michael, Steve, and of course myself. So this is a super duper promotion, guys, that's going to last all month throughout June. So be sure to come in every day because we're going to have stuff happening all the time, every single day. Now, if you have any questions, the questions are right here. So be sure to check that out. Now, yesterday we had the giveaway and we have Zaki M, Ashraf Unisa, ANG, Joao R, and now Valdi that all won a 25K account, right? So congratulations to all of them for winning. If you were there yesterday, you had a chance to win. And then we've had all the updates. So now, brand new swing program and a brand new day trade program at the extremely low price of $39. So a bunch of new stuff going on, guys. And then yesterday, you heard it first. Mr. Michael Katz, CEO himself, said we would soon have 100K accounts on the future side. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be great. Let's get back into these markets. I see Hans saying on NQ after the Tokyo low, we started to create a new bullish structure, creating a base area around 29,862. We have respected that base twice. You caught the buy from that zone. Well, very awesome, man. I'm glad you caught the buy. So you're talking about the 29,862. So I guess on the CFD side, the number is a little bit different, but on the future side, that base would have been around 29,922 and close at 30,058. Man, that is an awesome trade. You said 29,922 and then you closed at 30,58. Oh, it was on the futures platform. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong area. But nice. You caught 100 plus points, man. That deserves a all right. Great to see people win. So great trade there. Awesome trade there. So we're looking at so yeah, we were talking about the possible trade you could have taken. So actually, that is that trade. That's that long that we were talking about this morning is where you could have taken it, right? So that was an awesome trade. We're going to look at how things develop today. But if we're going to continue to the upside, my first area of interest would be that cluster here. So the question is, okay, we wicked up, we touched that previous point of control. Right now, the point of control for the NQ is at around 29,950. Let's see, and that's for the whole session, 29,950, which would be right around here. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, put this lower. This is where I know my point of control was here in the morning. This is going to be an area of interest for me, but I definitely am going to be interested in possible buys for a possible continuation to the upside. So are we going to have this deep of a pullback? That is about 100 points lower, entirely possible. And then the point of control would be about 140 points lower, totally possible on the NQ. We are about 10 minutes until the open. So can we pull back, maybe hold above this cluster, maybe wick down below here, form a little reversal, and then continue higher? Can we do that? We're going to find out. That would be the bullish case, right? That is good. I'm so happy you're saying you traded 1 micro. You're still learning how to use the platform, and that is totally valid. Now, the huge advantage with futures is what? You caught about 35 points, right? So that means you made about almost $300, right? With just 1 micro, right? With 2 micros, that would have been $600. So that is the power of futures, guys. With just 1 micro, you can make a huge amount. Congratulations, K Rizzy. You just passed your 50K with the new rules, all trades on ES. Well, congratulations. That is awesome. Keep going. And if you keep going, I'm going to have to interview you soon so you can give us the goodies, right? Leather UA is asking a very valuable question. How many L's should you take to understand it's time to stop trading? Do you have a risk management in losses in a row? In a row, I guess, is what you're trying to say. Yeah, L equals loss. So I have that question. I'm gonna answer that, and then I have IG6202 asking, how do I mark my point of control? Okay, so how do I mark my point of control? I use TradingView. So there are different tiers to Black Arrow. I'm using the first version here that unfortunately doesn't have the volume profile option. Now there is another, there's the Black Arrow Ultra and the Black Arrow Pro that you have to pay for. I have the Ultra, but since everybody who signs up for our programs has the one, I just want to use it the way you guys use it, right? And then what I do is very simple. You go on TradingView. Let's open TradingView right now. I'm sure everybody has TradingView. It's free. I pay for my version, but you don't have to. I just want live data. So then you can open the volume profile. You look for SVP. So basically in the indicators, SVP, session volume profile, and then you can anchor it. I have it anchored to the open of the session, and then the point of control right here shows up in white. This way I know, okay, point of control before the open was around 948, 950, right? This is the area where the most volume was traded. Now, like I said, we have a very interesting cluster up here, right around the area where we're trading. And this was another high volume node right here. So this is an area of interest. So the idea is, okay, are we going to bounce in between those levels and then form a bullish structure where we find, we possibly find a low and then form a higher low and continue to push higher? Or is it going to be the contrary where we push lower, we retest the highs here, and then we continue to the downside? We don't know yet what's going to happen. I'm leaning a little bit more bullish because of the, somewhat okay news that came out, but we'll see what happens on the open. So basically, this is how I mark my point of control. I just use TradingView. I look at, so when you see me looking up, I have the TradingView app open, and I'm looking at where the point of control is. So I hope that answers your question, IG6207. So we're gonna take the next question, which I really liked, and so there are different approaches to this, right? And overtrading is a big theme. I think a lot of intraday traders suffer from overtrading. I have had to deal with that. So here's a couple ways you can approach this. A simple way is to say, okay, I have X number of trades. So you could say, all right, I'm going to take 3 trades and then I'm done, right? That's a simple way. If you have the discipline to do that, then you could say, all right, I'm just going to take 3 trades and I'm done trading. Another way you should approach that is, and that's how sometimes I prefer to do it, is you have a stop. You have a dollar amount where you stop trading. The best way I've seen to approach this, at least on my end, is what? You take the average of the last 2 weeks of trading, right? The average daily profit you've made, okay? For the sake of an argument, let's say you are able to make $500 on average per day, right? We'll take that as a reference. Well, it's going to depend. How much are you risking per trade? Let's say you're risking, to be on the safe side, $100 per trade. Well, if you take 5 losses in a row, then you stop trading. If you are, if for example, on each trade you're risking $100, then you stop trading. It's going to be 5 trades. But if on the contrary you're risking maybe 200, well, it's going to be about 2.5, 3 trades, right? And I find it easier to have a dollar amount to respect. Why? Because it's mathematical. On average, you're able to make 500 in a day, which means if you lost 500 today, right? And then you lost maybe 250 tomorrow, right? It's going to take you 2 to 3 days to possibly make that back, right? Assuming you have the appropriate buffer. But if you're making 500 in a day and then you lose 1,500, right? Well, that becomes a problem because you need at least 3 days to make that back on average. And this is where you kind of spiral into, losing positions, trying to make the money back, et cetera, et cetera. So you should take the numbers, take the data, see, okay, on average for the last 20 sessions, how much have I been able to make per day? If that number is, for example, let's take a low number. You're able to make $100 per day. Okay. Well, if you're only able to make $100 per day, how much are you going to risk per trade? If you're risking 100 per trade, well, you can only take one trade. And guess what? We have Samir that trades with me live on Mondays. He only takes one trade per day, and he finds that works for him, and that helps his discipline. On my end, I like to take multiple trades because I'm wrong 50% of the time. But when I'm right, I'm able to get a 2-to-1, a 3-to-1, even a 4, sometimes a 10-to-1. Right. So I want to have multiple stabs at it. So that works better for my personality. I spent some time where I was only taking 2 trades a day, and it didn't work for me because I was taking 2 trades, and then on the third or fourth trade, I could have found my stride. So I realized, okay, I have a fixed dollar amount depending on the account, right? That I can risk per day. And statistically speaking, I will take up to 7 losses in a row, but usually no more than that. On a bad day, I'll take 7 losses in a row. So if I take, let's say 2, 3 losses in a row, usually I'll stop. So I think that's a better approach, having a dollar amount. Now, the last thing, and that's probably the most important thing that's going to tell you whether you're over trading or not, is if you're taking a trade, can you name the setup? Can you say exactly what is this setup? What is the entry? What is the exit? Why are you taking this trade? If you're taking the trade just because, then you're overtrading. If you cannot name the setup, you cannot be specific, okay, this is the setup. This is why I took the trade. This is why I entered. This is why my stop was here. This is why my take profit was there. Then you're overtrading, right? And I can show you exactly what that means. Let's get back into the. All right, Leather saying you can make about 600 in a day. All right, so 600 in a day. I don't know how much you're risking per trade, right? Depending on your flavor, if you're risking $300 per trade, then you only take 2 trades. If you're risking $100 per trade, then you can take 6 trades, right? If you're risking $50 per trade, then you can take 12 trades. But respect the dollar amount. Don't go over that amount, right? Because that's what you're able to make. And then gradually over time, that number will increase. But that's what you want to respect. All right, we're about 1 minute from the open right now. Let's look at that gold position that we've had. All right, we're consolidating up here. I didn't look at. Did you guys put any numbers in the chat for me? By the way, remember to remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Sure, Leather UA. That's why we're here. We're literally here for you guys. That's why we trade live. That's why we show. We put our money worth where our mouth is. All right, the NQ, man, the NQ is taking off. Taken off. We just tapped into yesterday's point of control right below this cluster right here. Let me look at my opening range boxes from yesterday, and then we'll look at the ES. By the way, if you guys have something in particular you want me to look at, I will definitely look at it for you. Okay, opening range was here. So we saw some selling around here yesterday. It's very important to always look left. Longer term, we're looking somewhat strong here on the NQ. By the way, I talk about the speed of price. This is the price sprinting. So this is not sustainable for a huge amount of time. That's why I like to look at trends. The real trend, in my opinion, is around here. So eventually we'll have to catch up to this trend. And then as usual, price moves in channels. So support was here a little bit above this. So let's see what happens. I like that. I like that. That's a very nice approach. So a simple way, Hans curved over trading, best of 3. So you take a max of 3 trades per day, and then you only have 4 outcomes when you're following your strategy. So 2 wins, you stop. 2 losses, you stop. 1 win, 1 loss, you do a tiebreaker. I love that. That is a very, very good approach. I think that's also good, you know? So honestly, it's going to depend on your temperament. It's going to depend on what works for you. Um, but I think that's great. That's a very good approach. All right, we're seeing a little bit of selling here on the NQ. Let me look at ES. ES is selling as well a little bit. As expected, we've reached these clusters here of previous resistance. So if you look right here, that wick is right here below that cluster of resistance. So that was expected. We're waiting now. By the way, our gold trade must be pulling back. All right, I'm looking at a tick chart right now. Man, Nasdaq really selling off. So we're touching this, we're touching the trend, right? So is this going to be a sell-off like yesterday? Let me look at the daily a little bit. So we opened here. We're pushing lower. We have, you guys need to remember, we have that gap around 29,667 and 29,544 that I think, you know, gaps like to be filled. Are we going to move towards this gap eventually? We'll have to see. But we're definitely selling off. I guess I have to exit that gold trade. Let's leave it. It's yours. You guys tell me when to exit. We've had 2 calls. Put your numbers in the chat. Let me know where you want me to exit the gold trade. All right. We have 44.73. As a matter of fact, let me type it. We have 44.73 and we have 44.87, which is probably off the table. Let me know in the chat where else. But we're definitely pulling back on that. The only hope I have is that previous level holds, or maybe the 50% of this huge candle holds and we oscillate higher. Let me know if you have another number, and then the numbers that I hear the most, this is where I'll exit. Definitely selling off here. So we're back. Remember, we talked about possibly scaling in for a long here, but the aggressiveness of this sell-off is a little bit concerning. So we'll see. You know, we wicked up on the hourlies. Do you see any fair values? Yeah. Han saying, I cannot stay true to the rules, then I should not. If I... Nice. I love that. I love that. If you can't stay true to the rules, then you should not be trading. Discipline, risk management, and acceptance of trade outcome is what you feel is your edge. I love that. I love that. I know a lot of people struggle with discipline. I have struggled with discipline in the past, and sometimes on a bad streak, I'll struggle myself. So um, I think that that is definitely valid. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna take an attempt on the NQs right here. It might be a little too early. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a wider spot stop. I'm gonna give it 100-point stop. The idea is what? I want it to scale in here. Maybe we pull up. Maybe we do another wick lower and push up here. But I want to see if we can react to this dip. I might be a little too early, but looking at. So if we don't hold, this is wide, but this is not. This is just a protective stop. I want to see how we react to VWAP. I want to see, can I catch the bounce? And the way the market is looking here is that we're probably more bearish than bullish, right? So they're pushing lower, especially after that news. So if we get a little W like that, I'll add. If not, then we'll stop out. My true stop is VWAP. Man, this is huge bearish pressure. Huge bearish pressure here. Doesn't seem like we're going to hold this. All right, let's see. Yeah, we're taking red everywhere. Let's wait. So I'm just buying because of this cluster here. We're almost at VWAP. Avio saying market is short today. ES will pull back from hourly buying. Order block if it creates an imbalance while moving. Previous week gap. All right. Let's see, Avio, what happens. I'm just following my ideas from this morning. I said I would be a buyer around this area. But we are not finding buyers. All right, stopping out at VWAP because there is definitely a huge amount of selling pressure here. So we'll try again in a bit. All right, let's take a look at gold again. Gold trade still holding at these highs. Not as much selling pressure. Definitely a lot of selling pressure on the indices. So we've lost the trend as of yet. So right now, all we would need to do is try to find where to get short, right? We want to find some kind of bounce where we could short from. Is this previous point of control going to hold? We don't know. We'll see. What I was hoping for when we saw that little green print here, when we pulled from here, we reached that level of interest, that previous cluster here. I was hoping to get somewhat of a bounce into this previous high right there, or maybe lower, so I could enter short. But unfortunately, that did not happen. We took a loss, so we'll see. Gunter saying, if you have an entry with 2 micros and you have only one take profit exit, how do you split the 2 micros to allow for partial TP without using the pre-created? All right, let me show you right away how you do that. So you go, let's say, for example, I had a buy order here, right? So I have my buy stop. Wait, let me put 2 micros. You have 2 micros, you put your order here, you're pressing shift and you buy. So that's your order. And then let's say your order triggers and then you want one take profit, let's say, I don't know, 80, 90 points higher, and then you want one around here. Well, all you have to do is you can take out the brackets, you put none, and then you click that plus sign, and then you put your a sell order. You would put a sell limit order, but I'm just gonna do a buy stop so it doesn't trigger anything. So I'll put a buy stop here, and then you can edit that order, or you could just put 1. So I would edit. I would put 1, edit, and then there you can have your partial, and then you can move it wherever you want, right? So if you entered with 2 micros, you can take your partial here. It will trigger, and then this will convert automatically to 2 orders. That's one approach to do it. And it's probably the easier way to do it. The other thing you could do is, if you still have your bracket on, you take the order, and then you same process. You just click. Sorry, you would put it on 1. You click, and then you delete the brackets, and then that will leave your order there, and you could take a partial. So I hope that answers your question, Hans. All right, let's see what the market is doing. Man, we are pushing lower. I'm just saying, what is my approach towards analyzing the market? How do I decide how to go for a buy or a sell? All right, so I'm using 3 things. I'm using levels, so basically the price. I'm using the speed of the price, so what is the overall trend? And then I'm looking at the overall price action. So you could call it patterns or stuff like that, how the price behaves to decide whether or not I'm going to buy or I'm going to sell, right? So let's give an example. This morning, earlier today, we're looking at let's look at this actually. Where would I enter? How do I decide whether I'm going to buy or whether I'm going to sell? So let's look at the price action right now. Right now, it's 9:45. Give me 1 second. A lot of my trading is also intuitive. I've been trading for a while, so I'll just look at how the candles behave, and I'll decide where to enter or where to exit. But let me answer your question. So overall, let's zoom out. What do? I will first try to determine levels, key levels of support and resistance, or you want to call them liquidity. You call them whatever you want to call them. I call them support and resistance. Um, so what are you looking at? You're looking at levels, areas where the price reacted. So this area here in blue is where yesterday we pulled back from, we reversed higher, retested, and pushed lower. So that would be yesterday's support area. That gets transformed into the Asian session's resistance area. So these clusters right here and right here tell me that, okay, this was a key area of interest, which is why that was one indicator of where, okay, I could show interest there. So that's one check. The second check for me is you're looking at the speed of price. So how fast is price moving? We know that market theory, price accumulates, expands, distributes, expands again, reaccumulates, expands, distributes, etc. So what you're trying to do is find those clusters to capture these expansions, right? Basically, that's what I'm trying to do. Now, like I said, the first thing I'm looking for are levels. So key prices, key areas where there have been clusters of prices. And I'm looking at that on higher time frames. Here, since we're doing it intraday, I'm basically going to the hourlies and looking at where we reacted, or the more or less the 15-minute chart. That's the first thing. The second thing is I'm looking at the speed of price. So how fast did price move in and out of these areas, and how fast is price moving? So right now, for example, the reason why I have this trend here is because you can look at, okay, the price had this trend. So it was moving at this speed. Now, this is a sustainable speed for a decent amount of time. Consider that someone jogging. Why? Because the price is not moving at an extremely fast pace. So it's not dropping, right? So we know that if price is not moving too fast, just like running, then the price can continue to do that for a significant amount of time. What I'm waiting for is a change in character of the price. So we know, okay, the price is moving down, and I like to counter trend trade. So price is moving down. Oh, come on. Sorry about that. Yeah, the price is moving down. What I'm looking for is, okay, will we have a change in character where I'm able to risk off of? And that happened right here. Price was moving lower, price pushed up and changed character. So started forming a shift in the market structure. We had our lows here. We had a higher high. So this high was higher than the previous high. We broke out of this trend. We pulled back. We continued higher, and we formed a second higher low. So now we have a new trend developing, right? Now, if we look at this trend, we look at, okay, as we saw this moving, we would have looked to the left and look at previous levels where possibly that shift could have happened. What would have been these levels? Well, the first area would have been around here. Second area would have been around here and here. And then we look at, okay, where are the previous clusters? Previous clusters are here and here. So you try to determine your levels based on these clusters. And if I trace lines, we could see that, hey, these lines align with more or less where we had the change of character. So we're looking at the speed, price is moving down, then we see a shift, and I'm seeing a shift right now in character. So levels, speed, and then the pattern. So basically the behavior. And this is where, for example, people who trade ICT and stuff like that will look at fair value gaps. I don't really look at these things, but this is where your fair value gaps and all these things would come into play, right? This is where you kind of find the nitty gritty after you've had the overall theme. You look at the nitty gritty. So here we had the trend, we broke out of the trend, we pulled back, and that's where I would be looking at possible patterns and behaviors of price on where to enter. I also use VWAP. So if I'm trading above VWAP, I know the trend is overall bullish. I'm trading under it, the trend is overall bearish. So that's a quick explanation of how I'm looking to enter, and I'm missing my entry here. So let's analyze this move right now. We had the price accelerate to the downside. We broke out of this overall trend, and we have a micro trend here. So the overall trend was bullish. We expanded out. We tested this level. So what am I expecting right now? Overall, longer term, I'm expecting the price to either test this area. Why this area? Well, because that's where we reacted from in the past. If it doesn't respect this area, the next area I'm looking for is this cluster right here. So what is price going to do once it reaches this level? Unfortunately, I won't be able to catch this bounce because I'm talking too much, but I'm looking to see what is price going to do more or less when we reach, let me put this like that, more or less when we reach this area. Now, people who trade fair value gaps, etc., will say, hey, there's a 1 minute fair value gap here, right? Between this candle and this candle here. Fine. I mean, I don't really look at these nitty gritty things. I'm looking at overall, what is the price doing? And then I want to see specific behavior. What I saw there, but I was talking too much and missed my entry, is what? We had a change in character of the candles. We started wicking lower, wicking lower, wicking lower, wicking lower, and then we had a huge increase in volume. Right there is where I wanted to enter. I missed that. So we're going to see, okay, what other opportunity can we find? So we're looking at two areas. The first area we're looking at is right here where I have my level in the blue. I don't trust it yet. Why? Because the speed of the price is accelerated. So it's going too fast for me to make a decision. I'm going to wait and see, okay, can we move to this area? If we don't move to this area and we respect this, then it's fine. We want to see price push lower, right? And kind of retest lower, because the price will usually always give you a retest. And then we enter on the retest. I didn't wait for the retest here, which is why I took the L, but that's totally fine. That was my first trade. We're still good. It was a 1 R loss, 50 points, 1 micro, totally fine. All right, we're respecting this. And then I'm also using other tools like order flow and stuff like that, but I'm not showing them live on the stream. And then usually, to frame this easier for you guys, I'll do an opening range. So let me do my opening range box, which allows you to, frame the trades better. But let's do it right now. So I usually do the opening range because it's probably the easiest setup for people who are beginning to trade. And it gives you a gauge on, okay, how is the price moving? So the first 15 minutes would be the opening range from 9 to 9:45. It's about to be 10 o'clock. So now we got to the bottom of the range. Okay. Next thing is, where is the halfway point? Why? Because we humans like 50% discounts, right? If we're staying below 50%, that means that they're not convinced, they don't want to pay higher. This is the halfway point. Okay. So that gives you an easy way to frame your trade. You're at the bottom of the range right here. You form lower. Actually, we might take an entry here, risking that previous low. All right, we triggered. So, quick idea here. Fortunately, I'm not looking at the order flow. Let me give me 1 second, guys. All right, the idea is what? The idea is we tested the bottom of the range, we pushed up, and we want to see, can we hold this level and go test higher to the previous cluster. If that doesn't work, then that means, okay, we're really bearish, we can't bounce, we can't find longs, so we'll look for a short setup. What short setup can we find? Well, if we don't push higher where I want to take my short, because I'd rather take my short up here than down here, gives me a better risk reward, because what I want to do is risk off of this high, hopefully. All right, so we're pushing higher. And this is not a trade I want to hold for long. Why? Because I want to look for a short. The overall theme is bearish. So my target is somewhere around this area. And once it reaches there, if it reaches there, then we're getting out. Why? Because I want to see, okay, where can we get short? Now, that's why the speed of price is important also. If price is pushing up and it's pushing up fairly fast, then you got to think psychologically what's happening. While people are panicking and getting out of their shorts, that means we could probably squeeze to the upside. So we don't want to disregard that either, right? So we're going to wait, we're going to see what the price does. Can it move up? And this is basically going to be a 1-to-1. If it works, of course, it's going to be a 1-to-1 or maybe a 1-to-1.5 type of trade. We're seeing a little bit of struggle here. We're unable to push higher. So we want to see, okay, does that continue or not? If we're unable to push higher, then man, the bearish pressure is on, right? We are reacting. If you look at this chart right here, we are reacting to these previous levels. That's where we got short from the first time, right? We're reacting to these levels. But we want to keep an open mind because, again, this might be the area where we're able to short from, but it might also be an area. So I always do the bullish case, the bearish case, and the neutral case. We're seeing a lot of pressure right now, so the bears are obviously winning, but let's do the bullish case. We wicked up, pulled back, we're pushing higher. If we're going to push higher, we're going to break through this level, reconquer here, retest these levels, and continue that trend, right? If we're not going to do that and we're bearish, if we're really bearish, we're not even going to blow past this level. We're just going to go here like we're doing right now. We're going to find sellers again, and then we're going to push lower, right? Huh, my PC is making weird noise right now. Give me 1 second, guys. Not sure what's going on there. I think I'm going to close a couple of applications because the PC looks like it's overheating. All right, yeah. So that kind of caught me off guard. Okay, so now we are moving higher. And now we want to see, okay, well, as we push higher, how do we behave once we get to this cluster, to this area, right? If price pushes up fast and decisively, then we can continue to hold this, right? If not, then we have to sell. Let's look at an hourly chart. So the hourly is just opened. And then if you look at the boxes, you see we're pushing higher with volume. So the question is, okay, if this was a store, we gave a discount, everybody bought here, it's back to the 50%. Do we want to sell again here or not, right? So we'll give it about a candle or two because this is where technically we should be shorting, right? And if you want to be safe, you could totally put your stop loss at break even at this point. You're making 20 plus points in profit. So yeah, I think I want to start scaling in short. This is giving me valid information here. The bears are really trying to push this lower. You see how that looks like on the tick chart. Yeah, they're really trying to push this lower. Let's see if we can get another quick bounce. Can we get the bounce? Can we get the bounce? Because this candle completely engulfed the previous move. Looking at the higher time frame, we wicked into the level. That is the short setup I was looking for. So I want to see, can I get a quick bounce? And then I'm going to start, because the short is the short side, for me at least, is where I can really scale into this trade and add a couple, not just trade one micro. You know, I could add a few micros. We'll see how much we can get, where we can risk off of. But we're really struggling here on the short side. I mean, on the long side. All right. As we're at break even, I'm going to avert my trade. And then let's see what happens. Looking at the ES right now. Yeah, I flipped short just because of the bullish, I mean the bearish pressure, but looks like we're holding. And then if I get stopped out, then we wait. All right, we're exactly at the point of control right now, holding above the previous resistance here. So this is an area where we could have somewhat of sideways action before the decisive move happens. So let's see. Yeah, we might need a second leg to the upside. All right, short is not working. I'm going to exit the trade, and now we wait. This is why I like to scale into trades. It allows me, sorry, to take a couple of small losses until I find the setup I actually want. So now we wait. Whoa. So I was in the long was looking fine. And then we saw aggressiveness here. So the idea was what? We got into the long, pushed higher, pulled back, did a second leg, formed a higher high, right? Now I saw this engulfing 1 minute candle right here, pushing higher. I was looking at my tick chart, saw a lot of aggression, a lot of red prints. So I figured, well, maybe we are now getting back into the short. This is where we rejected from this morning. This is also where we rejected from earlier. So we probably need to push lower, but that was not the case. So again, we are stopped out. Now we wait. So like I was saying this morning, there were two areas where we could reject from. The first area was here. This is why I wasn't too confident in holding the long, because I thought, okay, maybe we've gotten to the level where we're going to reject from and push lower. But that's not the case. So now we wait. The other level where we can reject from is this cluster, this area right here where we had the previous clusters. So now we just wait. We have our levels. We know what we want to do. We're looking for a short setup. What will a short setup look like? Well, indication is what? We need a up move with volume, a wick higher, a push. So look at the move that happened earlier today. You had a push up with volume. We wicked higher, right? And maybe third candle, we were pushing to the downside. So I'm looking to see a pattern formation like this to go short. We saw the same thing here when I went long. We pushed, we wick lower with volume, and we got in, right? So we're just going to wait patiently, see what happens, and then we will enter our possible short. And if that doesn't happen, then that means that the bulls have regained strength and they're going to push and continue to the upside. And that's fine. We were in the long. We didn't hold the long. We missed that trade. That's totally fine. That box, no. Here's the orb. This is the opening range. And now we are back above this 15%. So what I'm looking for is, okay, when we get back into the opening range, when we get back to these levels right here up there, right? Can we form a pattern where we wick higher, we reject these levels again, okay? Maybe form a higher low, and that's where we short. If we see price behave like this, or maybe let me move it like this. If we see our price behave like this, then we'll enter short. If we see that same behavior, and it would be even better if we saw that same behavior right around here, right? If we saw that behavior here, that would be even better, because that means we're not able to push higher. The higher you push, the less bearish you are. So if you stay lower, that's actually good for us. Now we need to remember and wait, because we have a huge cluster of price here. So we wait patiently and we'll see. What's up? What's up? Hey, I got Samir in the house. How you doing, man? Hey, Samir, we took a gold trade today. We're looking good. For finally, we have a working gold trade. So that one's for the community. I asked everybody where they want me to get out. Some people said 44.87. Some people said 44.73. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask you, where do you want me to get out? Arrows to the upside. Let's put some arrows. Let's put some arrows. The problem is, we're bullish on gold, but I wanted to go short on the NQ. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to push to the upside because I'm seeing strength here, and the way we're oscillating here doesn't look like I'm going to get this short. I thought when we got that rejection here, when we got this rejection right here, that we were going to able to at least go and capture some liquidity down there before maybe reversing, but that didn't happen. So that's fine. We're seeing a little bit of rejection here. We'll wait and see what happens. Back into the box. We'll see what happens. Yeah, IG62, that is the orb. I'll put it in pink. I always put that box in pink so you guys know. And then I'll call it 15-minute opening range. Whoa. So our long entry here was a great one. Unfortunately, we were not able to hold. Okay, right now we are seeing a definite change in character in the price. So what's happening now is there's probably news. There's probably something going on. So all shorts are off the table. Let me look at gold. Gold is taken off. Man, I'm going to move this all the way here. I don't even know where this is going to go. So let's just let this do whatever it wants to do. We've blasted through all these levels, guys. That's the arrow, Samir. That's the arrow. That's the arrow. I'm looking at gold, Daniel. I'm looking at gold. We're golden on gold. This is great. We're golden on gold. All right, so let me look at the news. That's got to be some news or something going on. Oh, most Iranian proposal accepted in talks. Okay, that is what is going on, man. Now I'm sorry. I am really sorry that I got out of this long. We had such a great entry. Where was the entry? Let's look. Man, our entry was way down there. Anyways. Well, this is where you can't let FOMO take over. You let this do what it does. Possible targets, if you are in a long 15-minute opening range, I copy the range, and then I look at the halfway points. So here, it's probably where we'll see some selling. But on a day like today with positive news, it's entirely possible we see 2-3 ranges up, right? So we might move up, man. We might just blast if this continues, and of course, you know, shorts are getting squeezed, etc. We can push way higher than this. I've seen 1,000-point days on the Nasdaq on days like these. So let's see. Let's measure. How much would that be? That would be 580 points. That's nothing. If that news is true, that Iran has accepted, you know, a peace treaty with the U.S., then it's entirely possible that we push higher. Now we would be looking for a pattern formation kind of like this. Usually when the news breaks, what will happen is we'll get some kind of cupping formation like that. So we want to see something like that, or we want to see a push lower, a retest, a move to the downside, and then we reverse to the upside. That's what we would be looking for. So we'll see. All right, are we pulling back on gold? We're pulling back. We're up 60 plus points. You know what? Can we just capture 100 points? If we capture 100 points on gold, I'm happy. Or that 99.99. There we go. I'm gonna just put this here. If we get it, great. If we don't, well, then we don't. And then if you're trading this and you're still holding a logical area, you could put your stop, your trailing stop is right below this level here. But if you want to get out, I totally understand. If you want to take some profits, I totally understand. We're going to hold this and see what this does. Unfortunately, this is the day trade account. It's not the swing trade one, because longer term, I mean, if this news is positive, we could see a push higher. So we're just going to make this because of the consistency. I don't want this to throw off my What's up? What's up? I have a special guest here. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
What's up? I was seeing on YouTube. I was like, let me catch up on the stream.
I'm happy, man.
All
Happy to
right.
have you here.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
We're
All right. I
we're
can see amazing trade on gold.
amazing trade on
Nice.
gold, man. We're taking off. I got it right before the news at 44.18. Daniel and I were talking on Discord. He pointed it out. I'm like, all right, you know how I am. I like to put my money where my mouth is. So we got it.
Yes, that's nice.
Indeed. And we were long NQ, man. We were long way down here. But when I saw
Yeah,
this
I was eyeing
taking
on the
action,
same thing, the NQ. I was eyeing on
okay.
longs too. It was really nice momentum. So, yeah, amazing trade here. And you also, gold buys, amazing day. I think
Yep,
it's
yep,
Thursday.
yep.
Yeah.
It is
So, are you guys
Thursday.
streaming tomorrow?
No, I'm not. We only stream from Monday to Thursday, but I'll be back Monday as usual. And Monday, some
Okay.
surprises are coming. Some surprises are coming. You guys are gonna see new things on the stream. I'm not gonna say yet. Mouth is closed. But
All right. I'm also
stream is gonna
excited now.
become more fun, more fun, more fun. So yeah.
All right. That's
How you
amazing.
doing? How you doing? Did you catch anything today?
I took a shot on US 30 earlier, right at the start of New York session. Okay, I can share
Okay.
my screen maybe so that our
Yeah,
viewers
share
can get
share your
some
screen, share your
insights.
screen. Please
Yeah,
share your
now we are doing
screen.
some weird things.
Let me
Okay,
add
now
you.
you can see my screen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. Give me just 1 second. Let me load it up. Whoa, where are you? All right. All right.
All
Samir's live.
right. So, guys, took some trade here. This was some kind of supply area. Price retested it. VWAP was bearish. I was expecting, can price break this area right at the NYSE open and then eventually continue to the upside, maybe to target these areas? And exactly that thing happened. So, right here, I was at the CFD live stream also.
Nice.
So, gave this trade right there. This was a beautiful channel to the upside. So took the trade right here. Stop loss was something like this, and TP was somewhere around here. Not all the way here, but it was somewhere around here. So this was the trade for me today. I took the paper trade on NAS 100. It was long for me, but as the target was done on US 30, I was really not looking for any trades. So I took a trade right here. Right at the VWAP, this candle was having no wick. And I know if you are older, if you are like coming to the stream regularly, on Monday actually I discussed about these concepts. If candles are having no wick, so that is a potentially area for me to take trade from. In this case, it was longs. Stop loss could have been below this, so I was targeting something like this. Not gonna lie, I didn't took this trade. It was just a paper trade, but still it is good. It boosts your confidence and it boosts your clarity. Like, yes,
Yep.
these kind of concepts do work out. So sometimes, paper trading, putting maybe 0.01 lot size if you're on MT5. So, that thing is really good. It boosts your
It does.
confidence.
It does. It does. It does boost your confidence. It helps a lot. So yeah, I think continue to paper trade myself. I mean, when I have an idea and I'm
Yeah.
not sure of it, I'll paper trade or I'll take it. Well, with futures, it's hard to take small size because actually I don't
Hmm.
show PNL too much, but I'm going to show it today just to show you guys. Even trading with tiny size, you can make decent money. But I definitely like the idea of paper trading because it allows you to test things out. Sometimes when I have swing ideas or I'm not sure, or maybe I already took 2 3 trades in the day, I will continue to paper trade just to practice. So I like it, man. I like it. I like it. We have Alvio saying, "Some like I love your
It
videos."
is. It is actually in my native language.
Yeah, I bet I
So,
don't understand this.
Ovio, thank you, bhai. So, bhai is kind of a brother.
Oh, okay.
So, thank you, bro, thank you. And yes, we are here at Futures.
We are here. We are here. We are here. We have IG6207 saying, "What indicators do you use beside VWAP?" Me
I think
personally,
it is. Yeah.
I just use VWAP volume. Sometimes I'll look at a moving average, but I'm mostly trading short term, so indicators lag too much for me. I don't know about how about you?
For me, I just use VWAP. Earlier, I was using 200 EMA, but
Okay.
then when I was trying futures, I did some kind of testing with VWAP, and I built my strategy around it. So now I'm using VWAP along with supply demand areas or these kind of concepts. The thing that I'm discussing: candles having no wick, some fair value gaps, and if you look closely, this candle was having no wick, and look at that, price just made a wick. So I think it is complete observation. So if you
Yep.
spend at least 6 to 8 months analyzing one or two asset class, you get to know about few characteristics of that particular asset. So that's how I come up with this thing: VWAP paired with some kind of concepts like candles having no wick, fair value gap, and some kind of liquidity areas and
Yep.
patterns for my entry criteria.
Yep.
So chart is frozen here, like what patterns I'm referring to. So these type of chart patterns. This is my entry criteria. The way I look at charts: VWAP, supply demand area. So that's how I look at VWAP. Any particular settings on VWAP? For me, it is the default one. If you apply default reset setting, you will get something like this: VWAP. I don't want these two bands, so I just cut it. I don't want the band fill. So this is the default VWAP I'm using. I don't know. I'm afraid also. What if they took the VWAP away from TradingView? So I'm like, what I will do, because the
You'll
VWAP
figure it
is
out. You'll figure it out.
different from. Yeah, it
You'll
is
figure it
just
out.
some kind of sarcasm with you guys.
You'll figure it out. But
So it was nice.
me, I use VWAP also. I use a little bit of a different setting. I'm gonna show you a little really quickly, but it doesn't
Okay.
change much. So this is so the VWAP, you click it here, and then I use open, high, low, close divided by 4, right? So
Can
basically,
you share your screen? I also
oh,
am
sorry.
curious.
Yeah.
I want to look at that.
So the default setting is going to be high, low, close divided by 3. So it's taking the high, the low, and the close of the candle
Hmm.
divided by 3, and it gives you the average. I prefer to take the high, the low, the close divided by 4. So it's taking all 4 values. But I mean, if you look at the difference, so basically this is VWAP right now. It's saying 44.40.70 with the divided by 4. But if I do
Can
divided
you go
by
to NQ? I want to see how it
Oh,
is.
sorry. Yeah. By the way, I don't show PNL a lot, guys, but what I wanted to show you is with one contract on gold, we're up about 700 bucks. So if we get this, that's $1,000 on the day. This is to tell
Oh
you
wow,
you
that's
don't
amazing.
have to trade big size. We were talking about that this morning. Somebody was talking about trading one contract. I mean, you don't have to trade big size, especially not on gold or whatever. But that's the advantage with futures is that you have this in it's um, integrated leverage. So when you see me taking
That's
one or two
awesome.
micros, you know, And then we took just a $66 loss on the NQ. So first trade was break even. The second one was half an R. So we're good. Actually, this is where we might think of getting long. But all right, let's look at VWAP. Enough about PNL.
Yes, I wanted to see VWAP.
So VWAP, we click the settings. Open, high, low, close divided by 4. Right now it's saying 29,999. And then if I do the default, which is high, low, close divided by 3, let me do okay, it's 30,000. So it's like a very, very small difference. But I just prefer to use the divided by 3. And then you could modify it. You can put it, you just want it on the high, on the low. But for that, I will use, man, I should have scaled into this trade. Let me wait because maybe we're going to get kind of maybe we'll get a second pullback and then I can get in maybe around here, around 30,101.
Yeah,
But if
that would be
not,
good.
that's going to run away from me. But whatever. Yeah, so the anchored VWAP can help you as well, and the anchored is where I change the setting. So if I click, for example, here, it's the default, and then I'll do, okay, I want to see if I anchor it to the high. So instead of this, I'll do the high. I'll do okay, and let me put this blue, this way you guys can see it better. Blue. And then, so we're anchoring it to the high, and here maybe, for example, it can give you, since you're anchoring it to the high, it could give you an indication of where you could scale in long because you're basing the average price on the high. And then you could anchor it to the low. So you do another one, put it on the low here, for example, and the lowest low. You do low, click on it. Oh, come on. I'm dumb today. But honestly, VWAP for me is just a reference.
Yeah, exactly. The main fundamentals are your strategy, the way
Yep.
you look at charts. But Dave, I have to eat something, and after that, I have
But
to
hey,
work. I just wanted to check you out.
man, I'm happy. I'm
So
happy.
yeah,
Always good to see you, man. I'm happy
thank
you
you for
stopped
having
by.
me
Thanks
here.
for jumping in. Do that more often.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. So I'll
All right,
see
man.
you.
Take
I'll
care.
see you on
I'll see you on
other
Monday.
day. I don't
On
know
the
when I'll
other
be.
Monday. Yeah, on the other Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you so much,
Sounds good.
guys. I'll see you
Take
some other
care.
day. Thank you, Dave. Bye
All
bye.
right, man.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay.
All right, guys, that was my man Samir dropping in. So that was great. That was great. Always good to see him. We trade live, usually on Mondays. All right, where are we? MNQ. We were trying to. Man, it's hard to stream and trade at the same time, guys. I have to admit, sometimes I miss entries, and I really have to exercise discipline because that's kind of what I was looking for. We retested this previous cluster here a little bit higher. Hopefully, we can form a higher low. So hopefully, we can get something like this. We pulled up from here. We're above. We're at the highs of the opening range. So hopefully we could pull back and retest maybe right here around that 30,110 more or less. Hopefully we get that and I'll be able to get in. But if not, I guess I'm gonna miss out on this trade. Let's see what this looks like on a man. I think I'm gonna miss out. Don't have good risk reward. I could risk more because we're making good profits on the gold trade. So instead of 1R, I could risk 2R because this is gonna run away from me. How about we risk 2R? Where's 2R? And then maybe we try to catch it here. Because I feel like this is just gonna blast on the 15 minute. It looks like we're just gonna blast to the upside. So if we risk 2R, maybe we risk this low. Let's wait. All right. Obviously saying you use VWAP 2, combining higher time frames and trading fractal nature. That's good. Which one is better, anchored or regular? Well, none of them is better. It's going to depend on what you're using it for, right? That's like saying, what is better, a bicycle, a car or a motorcycle. It's going to depend on what you need, right? If you need to carry stuff, the car is going to be better. If you want to weave through traffic fast, well, the motorcycle is better. So, all right, Daniel, thank you. Take care. Good to see you. Market reacted on agreement. No other agreement than 60 days, more ceasefires. So negotiations about uranium. You say it's not news. It's just push. That was all right. Well, what's already ongoing? So we'll see. All right, I have a buy stop. I just want to wait. It's not. I want to capture it probably here around this area, but I want to see how we behave before I enter this long. Just going to be a little cautious here. The other thing is the price might need to accumulate for quite a while, so it might need to, test, pull back, retest, pull back, retest, and then maybe wick lower to all the way to this area here, because by then the VWAP will have reached this area, wick lower on volume, and then move higher. So that's why I'm being patient on this move. Usually when you have, high intensity moves like that, sometimes the price takes a while to cluster and move up, but sometimes it just takes off. So it's a hard call right now for me. So we'll see what happened. IG 602, no problem. You're welcome. You're welcome. So let's just wait and see. Let's see what the Dow is doing. Sometimes we use the Dow as a reference. Dow is pulling back right around, right above this VWAP here, which is looking good. Let's get some water. All right, pulling back on gold. I think 44.87 was probably the area to exit. So I kind of want to exit this trade just because it's gonna mess up my consistency. I'm making a little bit too much on it, so it's a good problem to have. All right, so let's wait and see. Let me look at my tick chart. All right, this is more or less starting to be in the area where we would want to get in. So I might want to scale into this trade. We're going to scale in with one contract. Going to risk 100 points. And then if we get a second move lower, then we'll add to this position. We're just going to wait and see. I just wanted to respect this prior low, right? Um, if we pull back a little bit, here, we could probably add to it again. But keep in mind that this might be, this might need a deeper pullback and go all the way down here. So I just want my stop is around here, right? This is a safety if we get news, if we get whatever. But this area here, this 30,076, whatever, is where I don't want to hold this trade any longer. So we'll see. We'll wait. We'll see if buyers can step back in. It looks like we're getting some buyers here. So let's see what we get. Let's see if we get a second leg, a continuation. Possible targets would be target one here and then target one a little bit higher up. So let's see what we get. And of course, it's entirely possible that we need to pull back more. So I'm just scaling in and then we'll see. All right, guys, remember to like the stream. Remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. We do this for you. Today has been a good green day so far. We've looked good overall. So the idea here for people who like the opening range breakouts is we've broken above the opening range, we've pulled back, we're still above the 50%, we're pulling back again, so we're starting to scale in. But we are aware that we need to stay above this area, above this prior higher low for this to respect the long, right? So as long as we stay above, call it 30,092, then we're good. As if we start to lose that, then our trade is not valid anymore. Make this a dotted line so it's less obtrusive. So let's see. The chat is quiet. Let me know, guys. Let me know what you are looking at. Let me know what you want me to look at. Let me know if there's anything in particular you're interested in, because I am here for you. And remember, we have, let me show you here, we have the Trading World Championship going on starting. Man, this is awesome. We have some awesome graphics here. Let me put the audio. I'm not hearing the audio. Oh, there's no audio on this. Nice. All right. So yeah, starting June 8th, up to $20,000 in cash prizes. Evaluation accounts, 1v1 battles. You get your chance to battle me and a bunch of other traders. So this is going to be a fun and exciting one. Be sure to register, guys, to participate in this event. All right, our NQ trade is looking more and more better. So now we want to scale in. We're going to add. And definitely now our stop is going to be here. And we have two targets. Target number one is just going to be the halfway point of the opening range. Let's see if we can reach that. And then target number 2 is probably going to be the upper end of that range there. So let's see if we can move up. If not, this is going to be a false breakout and we need to push lower. But definitely my stop is right around, I could take this out, right around this area here. So we need to continue the overall trend. And this morning we were talking about trends, by the way. Let me go back to maybe a 15-minute. We were talking about the speed of price. So let's open this up. Let's analyze this a little bit and see how is the price behaving and what is the speed of the price. Actually, it's going to be easier on a lower time frame. So let's get this out of the way. Let's go to this trading layout. Wait, week. All right. Now, so if we're not able to break out, by the way, this is a false breakout and we're going to push lower. So we're keeping that in mind. This is our trend. Right? We broke out of the trend. We accelerated, went back into the trend, tried to break out again, went back into the trend, tried to break out a third time, went back into the trend. So if we don't respect that area here, right, then the trend is invalidated and we need to reevaluate, right? So cluster, we expand, we reaccumulate, we expand lower, we're reaccumulating right now. So what we want is after this accumulation, can we push higher and go test these levels? Well, if that doesn't work, then that means that, okay, we've expanded higher, we've distributed, and we need to go and redistribute lower, possibly around this area here, redistribute here, before we decide, okay, where do we want to go? Do we want to go back up or do we want to continue here? So either situation is possible. Right now, I'm guiding myself by this initial move. Since we pushed lower, overall, we're thinking we can continue to the upside, right? So if we can break this zone, if we can break this area of resistance right here, where we've sold off from multiple times, then our trade will be valid, right? And the more time this takes to break, the least probable the move up will be. So as this takes more time, then our stops are moving higher. As a matter of fact, at this point in time, this should be our stop, not even this. Looking at the trend now, we should have about a 50-point stop. This should be our stop. Now, the only issue there is that sometimes price will wick down, do a fake out, and then move back up. So we'll keep that in mind. But right now, this is our stop out. This is a hard stop. So we'll do 50 and 50 on both of them. This way they can match. All right. And let's see if we get follow through. Call in RSA saying, thanks, Dave, for all the insight. They help. I really enjoy this. Not only because it helps you guys, but it helps me a lot. Analyzing constantly, looking at the trades, giving out valid reasons why I'm taking a trade doesn't only help you, it helps me as well. So thank you guys. I enjoy this and I hope you enjoy it too, because we do this for you. All right, we're back to our boxes. So now, if this doesn't push within the next 15 minutes, then we're probably going lower, right? Why? It's because, well, probably we need to go and test. If we're not able to break this and break this decisively before 11 o'clock, then probably this is going to go all the way down to VWAP before continuing higher. if it continues higher, of course. We need to remember on the daily chart. By the way, I think I got, we're almost out of take profit on gold, by the way, guys. Almost out of take profit. Almost there. 99 points. If you are trading, we're trading GC. I mean, the micros, if you were trading the full contract, that's $10,000 right there with one contract. That's what I love with the futures. But we're trading micros, so it will be 1/10 smaller. All right, we'll get back to that. Let's just wait, but let's look at the NQ. If the NQ can't move soon, then yep. If we can't move soon, then we're pushing lower. All right, something's going on here. Sellers have re-entered, so we're probably going to stop out break even again on the NQ. Can we hold? Sometimes they scare you like that. That happens from time to time. We're not panicking just yet. Remember I talked about they do a fake out and then they reverse it. Unfortunately, I wasn't looking at the order flow. I can't see whether or not they whether or not there was a big order there. We wicked higher on gold as well. The fact that we tested these levels 3 times is not very convincing, but let's wait and see. I would want this to do the move before the hourly, right? Before 11 o'clock. Let me look at the hourly really quickly. 60-minute. $30-minute. 15. All right, we're really trying to hold this. So let's see. Guys, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. And by the way, if you have any questions, please throw them in the chat. I will answer them for you. Can we get the follow through, guys? Let's see. Can we get the follow through? More and more I'm thinking, because right here, I thought we were going to get the follow through. More and more I'm thinking we probably need to, go catch lower levels of liquidity before we push up, before we push back up, right? If, of course, the theme is still bullish. Let me zoom out a little bit, look at some dailies. Let me look at what the dollar is doing. Okay, the daily still looks constructive on the NQ. So the possibility is still there for us to push higher. Maybe we need a pullback before we push higher. We don't know. We'll see. But we'll wait. And let me look at the overall market. So look at NVIDIA. Look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA kind of runs the market these days. All right, NVIDIA's pushing, making a double top, pushing lower. Let's look at the VIX. VIX is fine. Advanced decline. I have more stocks advancing than declining. Tick chart is green. Volt ratio is pushing higher. I mean, more so far, most things are looking green. So let's try to hold and see. But I definitely wanted this move to happen before the London close, before 11 o'clock, because at 11 we're gonna get positions being closed, volume's gonna increase, and it might change the behavior of the price. And our stops are not in the ideal position. The ideal position is here, below the wick, because this is an area where they might wick down to, buy, and then move up. So we'll do a mental stop. I'm not gonna do a hard stop. So I'm going back to my original idea here. And then we're able to take a little bit more risk on this trade because we have this gold trade that's, in profit. So we can use some of those profits as risk. So we're making 7R on this trade. This way we're able to risk 2R on this trade. And we're risking less than 50% of our overall profits. So we're good. And even if the whole theme changes, we'll still make about 3R if this blasts lower, and we'll lose just 2R on the NQ more or less. So far so good. Waiting to see if we can get that last push to the upside. Let me look at the ES really quickly. What's the dollar doing? Dollar's pushing higher. Okay. Look at oil. Oil is pushing higher as well. So everything is telling us that okay, oil is holding steady. Let's look at the stocks. Looking at Apple. Apple is up. All right. Apple is constructive. Let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft is holding as well. Amazon pushing higher, which is good. Meta is kind of in the middle of a range. Google is trying to push higher. Broadcom is green as well. So Nvidia is the one that's not too much in our favor, but it looks like they found some buyers at a low volume node. So they could probably push higher from there. Let's see. We're still waiting for this to, move up. We're in profit, but and this is why you don't want to panic when you see these little moves there. They'll scare you. This is probably an order that got triggered, a sell order, and then buyers step right back in. So overall, we're good. We're holding the trend. We're good until 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock on the dot, or close to 11 o'clock, maybe 11:59, things might change. We might see a change in the character of the price. And you see how we've gotten multiple tests of trying to break this resistance here. All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts. So we need a decisive move there. Otherwise, we need to, it means that the price, buyers don't want to step up and buy here and force the shorts to close. So price is going to have to go and be cheaper, and we'll need a lower auction before we push higher. So let's see. Time is critical right now. Where will we close at 11 o'clock? We're going to find out. That's 3118. 3118 is right here. Man, we're not finding the fuel. You see how volume has been constantly decreasing here? We practically have zero volume here. We need volume to come in. We practically have zero volume. Well, when I say zero, like volume has been decreasing. So we need volume to increase on the move up to capture that that TP. And we're still holding that gold trade, by the way. 3 minutes from 11. Will we get the first TP? By the way, this is 200, and it's totally understandable that they're front running this before 200 and selling before. So, you know, totally understandable there. I'm curious to see what's going to happen at 11 o'clock. Guys, you're leaving me alone. Let me know in the chat. What are you doing? Did you take a trade? Were you able to capture some profits? What happened? All right, I'm going to exit out of this gold trade right now. 75 points in profit. We're out of the gold trade. Awesome trade today on gold. Now we just have the NQ. Can we hold the line or not? Doesn't look like we want to hold it. More and more, it's looking like they want to bring it down. So the move is going to be what? The move is going to be we take our, if it wicks up, we take this take profit right here. And then the second stop goes to break even right after that. As a matter of fact, we're going to do that right now. We're going to put one stop for one contract at break even. It's going to be valid for this one. And then we'll see what happens with the rest. Can I use futures to have a better bias for gold USD? Yeah, I mean, the futures are basically, I think, a better price reference for other assets. So you could definitely analyze the GC contract. As a matter of fact, let's do the comparison live. I'm going to pull up. It should be pretty similar, though. I'm going to pull up gold and gold side by side. Just want to see what happens at 11 o'clock. All right, 11 o'clock is here. And I'm predicting we get a wick up. Hopefully it gets our TP. Come on, guys. We're 10 points. From it. 193. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. We're really close. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Adding a green arrow to help it. We're so close. Wick up. Let's go. All right, we got it. And then the next one is a bonus. So we got our payroll, And if we get the next one, great. If we don't, I'm totally fine with that. So if that continues, great. If it doesn't continue, let me just put this at 2 points. So we'll pay for commissions and we're good to go. All right. Yeah, gold was awesome. Made some good profits as well. So let's compare GC and the other contract. So let's go to Trading View. Let me put my double layout here. So if we take out, let's look at this on a daily chart. Let me put GC here. So that's the gold futures, and this is gonna be which one are we gonna use? Let's use Oanda. So as you can see, the price action is practically the same, right? Let me reset this. As you can see, the price action is the same. The difference you have is in the price, right? So on the spot gold, it's 44.75, and then here on the GC contract, it's 4,500. I find that it's easier for me to read because these prices are interesting. Like 4,500 is a key number, and then 5,000 is a key number where we broke off from. It's less clear on the spot gold, right? But they are moving essentially at the same rate. The advantage we have on the futures side is that you're getting the same data everywhere. So, for example, spot gold, you're going to get different pricing. So here I have Oanda, but if I put, let's see if we get another one. Let's see, XAU. Let's say we put forex.com. You see, we have a little bit of a difference in price. So here it's 44.73. Well, it just changed. It was a little bit different. So you're getting a little bit of different pricing and spreads and stuff like that. But with the futures contract, it's gonna be the same price everywhere. So if I put this side by side with my platform here. So let me switch to GC. By the way, looking good, guys. We're pushing higher on the NQ. I'm just gonna trail this stop here. We're gonna trail with the 5 minutes. So we'll capture an extra 30 points if that works. We're up what? 90. We should probably put this at 100 points instead of 140. So 100 points would be right here. Yeah, they're probably going to front run this. I don't know if they're going to push it all the way up to here. I like to trail these with a 2-minute stop sometimes. So, following these prior lows. We're at the halfway point, so I expect a pullback here. So we'll see if we can capture a little bit extra. Little 100 point there. And then if we get that, great, we'll be done because it is 11 o'clock. So it is the end of the stream, guys. It is the end. Let's see if we can get this one before we go offline. Can we get it? Can we get it? Can we get it? Let's add that green arrow. Come on. Come on, Nasdaq. Let's get it. Come on, get it. Come on, get it. Let's put it on 1 minute. Man, it is so, look at how close this was, guys. That was what, 1 tick away? Can we get it? We'll give it 1 more minute. If not, I'll just X out of the trade. I just want 100 points. Add that green arrow. Will the green arrow work? Get it, get it, get it. Come on. One more minute. We got 46 seconds. If in 46 seconds it doesn't happen, then I'll stop out. I mean, I'll X out. Let's wait. Let's be patient. Sellers are starting to step in. Man, we're not going to get it. We got 10 seconds to go on that 1 minute. But we're up 86 points, so that's pretty good. Can we get it, guys? Doesn't look like it. We are so close, so close, so close. Let's move the green arrow under this one. Let's see. If we can get 100, we'll get 50, 55. Come on, let's blow on it. This is very close. Woo, man. So that tells you that the levels are pretty accurate. And when you're struggling like that, that means you got your levels right, because you're getting it exactly at where the sellers have started to enter. So it doesn't look like we're going to get this one, guys. So I'm just going to close the trade. And I will see you next week. All right, I'm out of the trade, guys. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.